baby. Wee, baby, I love that beat. Hey, man, it's your boy Big Nate with the Real Underground Radio Station. Wait, this Nate Logic, baby. Wait a minute. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me, man. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me hear. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can hear me. So I know if I can hear me, y'all can hear me. Ah, hold on one second. We still. Can you hear me?
Shout out to Kaleem Nazim. Can you hear
Can you hear me?
me? Loud and clear.
Oh, wait, baby. We're here, everybody. It's your boy Big Nate with the Real Underground Radio Station. Oh, wait, baby. We in this thing, man. Furonda, you got to talk to your mic.
Can you hear me?
Get a little closer.
Testing, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2, 3. Shout out to my brother Kaleem Nazim. I see you've been here since the beginning. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Oh, wait, baby. Hey, man, what's up, man? Hey, man, I'm so excited to have you on the show, man. Look, man, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute, Nate.
Well, it ain't been a minute since we seen each other.
That's how you found her. No,
You saw me for
Founders Day.
We seen each other for Founders. And then, we
It was
seen
lit too.
Oh,
Super lit.
Founders was something else.
We were supposed to go to a play that
Uh-huh.
night, and the play was canceled, and we ended up at the Omega House.
Hey, Founders was something else, man.
Perfect night to be outside, kicking it with the bros.
How could you be anywhere else?
You know, I know somebody that knows somebody too. You know, that's really how I ended up at the Omega House. I can't say all of that, but I know somebody that knows.
You know somebody that knows somebody that helped you help.
Yeah.
They say, hey, the bros over there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, man, being around the bros, being with the bros, they always gonna have food. They always gonna have something to drink. It's a safe, fun environment.
And you know what? It absolutely was. The weather was perfect. The moon was shining. It was a great night to be with the brothers. Happy Founders Day.
Oh, wait, baby, you know we love it. Hey, man, so I don't wanna take any time. I don't wanna disturb any ideas, any thoughts. I don't wanna fester
Okay.
anything that's gonna keep us from away from having a great moment, man. Because I know we always show each other a lot of love, but I know we're gonna have a great conversation. So before I go any further, man, listen, hey, Sugartown, listen, if you from Sugartown right now, I need you to go ahead and go tell everybody, turn in to the Real Underground Radio Station. We got y'all girls. Hey, we got Sugartown's real one, Rhonda up in here. And what they call you in Sugartown?
What it do, Stuttgart? They call me Furonda.
They call you Furonda?
Most people, Furonda. And most people that want me to answer call me Furonda.
You ain't got no nickname in Sugartown?
Not one that I'm going to share on the Real Underground Radio.
Oh, we ain't made it that close yet. We ain't that cool yet?
Yeah.
So it's a nickname that somebody from Sugartown can say.
Could be not.
But you ain't going to say you
I
ain't.
could not confirm or deny, Nate.
Now, hold on now. I really want to know it. I'm going to have to go to Sugartown and find out.
You will. Maybe at Duck Gumbo, you'll, if you go to Duck Gumbo next year.
Duck Gumbo is something different.
Yeah. You saw pictures?
I seen pictures,
I
right?
wasn't there. But it was off the chain. I saw the pictures myself.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
And when I seen it, I was like, what the hell is that?
It's a major turn up.
Is it always
It's
like
a
that?
major turn up. It's always that way. You know, in Stuttgart, every Thanksgiving is when
Right.
we have like our town festivals. We have the
Right.
carnival comes to town, and for the last maybe 7 years, we've been doing Duck Gumbo. It's been I can't tell you exactly how many years we've been doing it. Shout out Jihad Muhammad. Good, thanks for tapping in, bro.
So you can't. So what was Duck Gumbo? Where did it come from? You don't know? Is it just for the
Duck Gumbo? So you know, Stuttgart is the duck and rice capital of the
correct?
world. Of the world,
Of the
Craig.
world,
Of
Craig.
the world, Craig. And so we have to do it big. You know, we have to put on for our city. And Duck Gumbo was an addition to the festival that we were already doing. We haven't been doing Duck Gumbo. You know, we've been having the carnival my whole life. Growing up in Stuttgart, we had the carnival. It came every Thanksgiving, but Duck Gumbo is something new. And Duck Gumbo is a different type of turn up. It is.
It looked
Yeah.
beautiful. It looked beautiful. So, Furonda, before we go any further, I want to make sure we touch all places.
Okay.
You are born and raised in Stuttgart, from Stuttgart, right?
Stuttgart raised me. Stuttgart raised me.
Uh huh.
And I credit Stuttgart with being my home. But I've lived just about everywhere. I've lived in Dumas. I've lived in DeWitt. I've lived in Stuttgart. I've lived in Pine Bluff, where they say it's rough.
It
And
ain't rough in Palm
well,
Bluff.
well,
But I didn't know that. I see. I always thought you were straight from Sugartown.
I went to school in Fayetteville.
I know that.
I went to school in Fayetteville. I've lived in LA. I've lived in New York. I've lived in Kansas City.
See, we know all of that. You
Yeah.
know, all the top model stuff. Everybody know that. Oh, that's Furonda, the girl from American Next Top Model.
Yeah.
Everybody know that, but a lot of people don't know you really from. You're really about that. You're really from there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Southeast Arkansas represent and
Great Southeast Arkansas.
absolutely. Some of my best times, like my coming of age, was really in Pine Bluff. I have
Mm.
been so many other places, but honestly, I had made the most money I had ever made, even not counting modeling or any of that stuff. When I was
Mhm.
right there in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, I bought my first house in Pine Bluff. So they say it's rough in the bluff. Pine Bluff was really, really good.
You was a realtor. You are a realtor, and you
Mhm.
started in Palm Bluff.
Started in Pine Bluff. Started selling real estate in Pine Bluff. I started my career as a career coach in Pine Bluff, working through Sea Art College, but working at Watson Chapel High School and junior high, helping young people to figure out what they wanted to do with their futures. I had a great time in Pine Bluff. Pine Bluff has been really, really good to me.
So Palm Bluff is you're passionate about Palm
I'm
Bluff.
passionate about Pine Bluff. That's why when I see, some of the news that I see about Pine Bluff, it makes me so sad. I've been seeing a lot of news about Pine Bluff, Nate. I saw you on the news, Nate.
That's all I can say, man. I love Palm Bluff, and I love my people. I love my city more than. I almost want to say I got a toxic relationship with Palm Bluff
Really?
right now, but I can't let go.
Yeah.
Can't let go.
That's how toxic relationships are.
It's a
They do.
toxic relationship, but I will say I love the city, and I pray for my people, and we in that thing.
Absolutely. We got some good candidates running for mayor. I think that some things
Yeah,
are on the rise in Pine Bluff. Absolutely.
There's a lot of. I'm gonna say this. There's a lot of upside. Shit. Shit. It's like having a toxic girlfriend.
Yeah. Pine Bluff is Pine Bluff has a lot of underlying issues. When I went to Pine Bluff, when I first moved to Pine Bluff, I thought, like, what? It's a white hall. Like, if you go one way, it's a white hall. It's a white
Actually,
hall.
it's sundown town.
And if you go the other way, it's a white ville. And so, that's got to mean something. I know there's been a lot of resources that have moved from the city of Pine Bluff out to the White Hall, to some other places. And so, Pine Bluff has its challenges, but I love Pine Bluff as well. I believe that Pine Bluff is a great city. When I moved to Pine Bluff, I had been all over the world, but I was so amazed by the fact that Pine Bluff was really a city full of so much culture.
Mm-hmm.
You nowhere else have I been where I've seen so many black professionals.
Right.
You know,
That's
we
very
got
true.
an HBCU in Pine Bluff, and pretty much everybody in Pine Bluff owned a house.
Yeah.
That was something that was remarkable to me,
Mhm.
coming from Stuttgart and many other places. A lot of people live in multifamily housing, like apartments.
Mm-hmm.
And so Pine Bluff, houses, it was like, you want a house, you get a house,
You get a house. You get a house.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about Palm Bluff is there's opportunity in Palm Bluff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I think I don't want to be a downer of it. The tragic hard part about Palm Bluff is when some people get stuck in the mud, or when you're stuck in the mud, you're in the mud.
Mm-hmm.
And getting out of those muddy situations, out of those tough situations, oftentimes can be impossible for a lot of people, as we've seen. But is there opportunity in Pine Bluff? Yes. One of the hard traits about Pine Bluff is some of the people.
Yeah. One thing that I learned when I was doing career coaching in Palm Bluff is that Palm Bluff was at that time one of the poorest places
Mm-hmm.
in the whole country.
Right.
And so you've got people, you've got the haves, and then you have the have-nots in
Mm-hmm.
Pine Bluff. And one of the reasons that our program was in Pine Bluff is because of the number of TANF eligible people, the people that needed to
Correct.
receive like food stamps and welfare assistance in the city. So that's a huge problem. It has an undereducated population, even though there is
Mm-hmm.
that CR College there, even though that UAPB is right there. They've made it harder to get into UAPB. When I was doing career coaching, my students, I would get my students over there, and their lives would be changed. And so,
Correct. Just exposure to it.
absolutely, absolutely. And at that time, UAPB, rightly so, as a land grant institution, was bringing people in and saying, our doors are open. Their doors are kind of a little more closed now, and so. That's a problem as well. Pine Bluff has its challenges, but I really do love the city. I've got to say that. And so it makes me sad when I see stuff like the Quorum Court, you know, in Jefferson County failing to pass legislation. Did those people get their Christmas bonuses?
That part I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. After the last incident in Palm Bluff, as far as politics and things like that, I kind of fell back. Um, for me, this is Christmas season and holiday season. I run a nonprofit in Palm Bluff where I focus in on feeding the people for Thanksgiving and then raising the Giving Affair, which is basically like the Giving Tree, Angel Tree project, except we service only students from the Palm Bluff School District.
Oh, wow.
And this year we've met our goal, and almost we could exceed it. So I have to take a step back from that and remember my purpose and my ministry
Right.
is service. I can't get caught up in the politics and all of that stuff because it serves nobody.
Yeah.
People are going to believe what they want to believe, and people are going to do what they want to do. The most important part of our community, and if we really want to change the narrative and change Palm Bluff, we have to save and change our children.
Yeah.
Because some of these grown folks, it's over with.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
unfortunate. Some of the adults in Palm Bluff, we have leaders who want to speak to emotional things and not more tangible ideas on how to change and grow Palm Bluff. So I have to remind myself, let's focus on these kids. They'll be 18, and if we do right by these kids, we'll have a better Palm Bluff.
Right. Absolutely. The children
Are our future.
our future. I believe that. Me and Winnie Houston.
I believe the children. So, Furonda, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a couple of questions. You've been all over.
Yes.
You love Palm Bluff. You love Sugartown. How did you end up? How did you end up back in Pine Bluff though?
Okay, that is a really interesting story. It's not really a back in Pine Bluff. How did I end up in Pine Bluff originally? After America's Next Top Model, and after modeling in New York and living and modeling and acting in LA, I got homesick. I came home and I started working at the Holman Community Center. I started tutoring kids at the Holman Community Center.
Lucky spot. Okay.
Well, lucky Mr. Kreiner, the Holman Heritage Foundation.
Okay. Yeah.
It's right there on Burkle.
Yeah, okay. I know where you at.
Yes. And so I started working there, and I started spending a lot of time at Pine Bluff, and not just Pine Bluff. I was spending a whole lot of time at Why Nots. You remember Why Nots?
I remember
What
Why
a
Nots.
time
Old Tony
to be
died.
alive.
What a time.
What a time to be alive.
Now, hold on. Which one was this? Was this one on Main Street?
This was Second and Main. Is that Second and Main?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, we baby.
Such a great time. They had
What a
food
time.
going.
What a time. What a time.
And so I was spending a lot of time in Palm Bluff. I was spending time in Why Not. I was working with some.
You're going to have to come closer to the mic.
Sure. I was working with some folks in Palm Bluff. We did a fashion show over there.
I remember.
With Don One and,
I remember.
and Eva came down so that we could host the show together. I just had a lot going on in Palm Bluff. I had an office at the UAPB Business Support Incubator right there on Main Street.
Wow,
Main
really?
6, absolutely. Really my launching pad. Shout out to Mr. Golette, Mr. We had a really, really good time.
So the young lady who runs the incubator now, I bet you guys would be great to connect. Angelisa Henry.
Absolutely. I would love to meet Miss Henry. And I have heard of Miss Henry. I think we have met in the past, but I do need to reconnect with that space. It's such an amazing space and it's such a great place for the community.
I'll definitely connect you both. She's a real good person and a great friend of mine, and she loves Pine Bluff as well. I like to celebrate people who choose Pine Bluff. You know, I think that's something that a lot of folks don't understand.
Right.
There are people such as yourself, such as me, such as Angelisa, such as a lot of people who can go anywhere in this world and be successful. Have been successful every place.
Right.
But they still choose Pine Bluff. As challenging as it may be, I can't go nowhere without saying, nah, I correct people all the time. I'm Pine Bluff. I'm not from Little Rock.
Yeah.
I'm from...
There's a difference.
I do anybody that know, I do almost everything I do in Little Rock. I've been staying in Little Rock all my adult life, but I'm Pine Bluff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's Pine Bluff for me.
There's absolutely a difference. And you have to get people together. You know, sometimes people say Arkansas and they think Little Rock. And Little Rock is a great place to live, work, but Arkansas, Pine Bluff is as well. Stuttgart is as well.
Right. Pine Bluff is what it said. So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
And I kind of want to backtrack because I never really got the full story.
Okay.
How did you get? How did a little girl from Sugartown, Southeast Arkansas, get to America's Next Top Model?
Well, you know, that has a lot to do. It's a lot of different things that came together to make that happen. First, I have wanted to be and had dreams and aspirations of being a model for quite some time. And I started a modeling career in Kansas City, which was like the nearest market. I had ties to Kansas City, and so I started my modeling career in Kansas City, Missouri. America's Next Top Model came to Little Rock, and they kept coming to Little Rock. And every time they would come, my cousin Michael Brasfield, shout out to Michael Brasfield, he would say, "Hey, cuz, you need to go down there to the Metroplex. You need to audition." I'm like, "Okay, Michael, I'm going to go." The last time, he absolutely insisted, and I went down, and the rest is history.
So that's what led you. You got chose here?
I did. Well, this is the thing. I applied for maybe the second season, and so I didn't hear from them for 4 years. I had completely taken that off my radar. And I have a really good friend, Tabitha Lee. I had listed her name as one, as a contact on there, and all of my other numbers had been changed. And so Tabitha was the person that actually, that they called up and they said, "Hey, we're looking for Furonda Brasfield. Can we get her number from you?" And like a true friend would, she was like, "Well, I can take your number and I can give it to her."
She wasn't going to give your number out?
No, she was not.
That's a true friend.
That's true friend.
That's a true friend. Shout out Tabby.
Yeah. Shout out to Tabitha. And the rest is history. I learned so much from that show. I learned about reality versus reality TV, which is a really important lesson for everybody to learn if you're going to be on television or not. Learned a lot from Tyra Banks about business. You know, I'm sitting in the room and I'm looking around, and it's clear to me, like, this is a business and who is running the business. You know, when I originally came on the show, I thought it was Tyra Banks, but then, you know, we did all our business with Ken Mock. So, you know, just seeing the business of it and seeing how things go and where you fit into the totem pole, it made me say, listen, I need to go and build my knowledge base. I need to go and build my resources. I need to take it back to the crib and build a very strong foundation under myself, and that's what I've been trying to do.
Well, let me ask you a question. When you started building and building that foundation through modeling, do you feel like it was something that you wanted to keep doing? Because you did it for a while, right?
Sure. I learned that it was not something that I wanted to continue doing. Models are to be seen and not heard.
That ain't you.
That is not me. That's not me at all. And then people treat models like rag dolls. The models are the first on the set, you know, the first ones they want to show up. They have you wait around all day until they get ready for you. They have somebody burning your hair out. They probably got a makeup artist that is more familiar with Caucasian skin than yours, so there's no telling what you're gonna look like when they finish with you. And then, but if you don't look good, it's gonna be your fault. So I quickly learned that modeling was. I felt like there was a much better way for me to get money than modeling, and
so that's what it. But that's what it kind of boiled down for you.
To that, and then control and autonomy over my own self and
Mm.
over my own future, my own appearance. And what I wanted to do, how I wanted to live. I want to be able to call my own shots. I don't want somebody else to be like, "Hey, girl, I want you to come here at 5 in the morning. Yeah, we might not be ready for you until 1 p.m., but just sit around and wait until we get ready, and then we'll, in about 3, 4, 5 months, then we'll pay you for your services."
Oh no!
Oh no!
That dog ain't gonna hunt.
No.
As soon as I sat down in this chair and get up, I need that.
I need my coin.
I need that paper.
Yes.
They must didn't know you were ready for sugar time.
Yes. And so when I peeped the play, like, oh, this is what y'all doing, I started, the wheels in my head started turning, like, okay, this is all, it's good for the camera, but is there a better way to do this? Do you need to get some additional degrees? Do you need to have something, like, very solid to fall back on? Because, again, modeling is very much a popularity contest. It's who they like. It's what's in at the moment. You can be in and you can be out. Like, just like BBLs or Ozempic. You know what I'm saying? It's like
what's popping at the moment.
At the moment, and that can change from
any day, any minute now. I'm gonna be honest with you. I commend you for doing it as long as you did. Then how many years did you do it?
I was modeling about 6 years.
6 years. Where was the wildest place it took you?
I'm gonna have to consult with my attorney. Let me get Dominique King on the line, and then I can shout out to DTK Legal Solutions. I'm gonna have to get her on the line before I tell you that story, Nate. But I'll tell you one story. In New York, we would get paid. I would get paid to go to the club, and we would get paid. They would get us a section, and our job was to have the time of our lives. Bring the bottles over to us, and we would drink, we would dance, we would have a good time, and those were some interesting times. Very fun, but some interesting, very wild times. Yes.
Hey, so stop what y'all doing right now. I need y'all to share this live right
Absolutely.
now. Share this live with all you people. This your boy Big Nate with the Real Underground Radio Station. This Nate Logic, baby. This is my dog Furonda Brasfield. Hey, listen, share this thing, man. Share this thing. So y'all would go into these clubs, have the time of your life.
Yeah.
That seems fun, but yet dangerous.
Yeah. I didn't see the danger in it at the time. I was young, having fun. We would host parties. We would dress up as anything and host parties. Like Harlem Nights is a party that I helped to host at one time. These mega parties at these $1 million estates. That was a really, really interesting time in life to see how the ultra rich live and how they party and what they like.
So I bet you probably got some intriguing stories with some.
Yeah, I'm gonna call Dominique King and see if I can tell you those stories. But until then, I plead the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth.
The fifth.
The fifth amendment.
So okay, you hobnob with the with everybody.
Yeah.
And in these particular situations, did you ever be like, yeah, this ain't working?
It was always I'm an observer. And so whenever I'm introduced into a situation, I'm looking around trying to see first, see who's running, who's calling the shots, and who's calling the shots, who's the boss and who's the worker. And sometimes, many times, those, you can be confused about that. The person that's the flashiest, that's got on, the Tom Ford and all of these Ferragamos and all of this stuff, that may be the worker. The boss might be sitting chilling in the back with some Levi's on or, some tennis shoes. And so peeping the play and just kind of seeing, okay, like, how does this work? Where's the sphere of influence? Like, where are people gravitating? What does this person do? Where, how are they commanding the room? What does that look like? That was very, very interesting for me. And it was really enriching to just kind of see the power dynamics in these rooms.
Because the boss ain't always in your face.
No, oh no, rarely is the boss in your face.
The boss back there peeping you.
Yeah, yeah.
So the boss would be back there, would be in the back room or off the scene, watching you while you watching him.
Absolutely, or or in a whole separate contained environment, from what's going on out here. So it was really interesting to see, the power dynamics and how people play.
I can only imagine, man. I've never been in it. Well, I'm gonna be honest. Like I've always had a different type of confidence, and I've been around some people with some real moves, and I was just like, one thing I ain't finna do, and maybe it's the Pine Bluff in me, the Southeast Art. Like, bro, I know you got bread. It ain't like you finna give it to me. So, and I'm not finna jump through no hoop for you to give me none.
Yeah.
But if you just want to sit here and talk, we can talk.
And that's the thing, Nate. That's the thing. It's not the money. It's the wisdom. It's the knowledge. And what can you learn from being in the room with these people? I'll tell you somebody that I really enjoy spending time with, that a lot of people don't know was very influential. Mr. Wilbur Pierre. Mr. Wilbur, do you know Mr. Wilbur Pierre with the KKAC organization?
No, I don't.
He's retired from USDA. He was in the Clinton administration. Mr. Pierre helps farmers all over the state to qualify to apply for USDA programs. Mr. Pierre knows everybody from here to DC, all around the country. He knows the players. He's at the Congressional Black Caucus. I met Chairman Benny Thompson from Mississippi. I met him with Mr. Pierre. Was able to meet another power player here in Arkansas, Mr. Abraham Carpenter.
You gotta know Mr. Carpenter.
You gotta know Mr. Carpenter. Was able to meet him and get to know him through Mr. Pierre. So really, really grateful for those types of relationships where people will let you sit in the room and absorb this knowledge and to meet and grow and learn how the deals are made and to learn how to wield your influence.
And sitting in those type of rooms, you learn so much, you get exposed to so much, and then you're supposed to take that and put that in your pocket and go back and put that in and put your own play on the way.
Absolutely.
And I think do you feel like you've done that? Or you feel like you took some of those relationships and were able to leverage any of those towards your own benefit?
Absolutely. This life and really what we do is all about relationships. It's
100%.
about building relationships. It's about who you know. It ain't what you know.
It's who you know.
It's who you know. Who can you get up on the phone and say, hey, I know this is what they said and this is the process, but I need this, and this to happen.
Can you make this happen for me?
Exactly.
I agree with you there. I having you on here was just simply, hey man, this your boy. Come pull up on me. And that's what it was. I think we talked about it before, but we never made anything concrete.
Absolutely. So thank you for having me on.
Man, it's
my mama watching.
Shout out,
mama.
Shout out, mama.
Shout out to my mama.
Mama Brasfield tapping in. Yeah, man. I am so glad y'all tapping in with us. Make sure y'all share this with your family, man. Share this with everybody. So folks need to watch this because we talking some good stuff here that needs to be talked about. When you have these relationships, you learn how to leverage them and use them, not necessarily using the relationship, but using the experience, using those opportunities to benefit not only you, but your community and those around you.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I've learned working with Mr. Pierre and KKAC is that, we don't have our relationships and our influence and whatever power that we individually wield, we don't have that for our own.
From whom much is given, much is expected.
Absolutely. You open the door, when you get in the room, you leave that door wide open.
Wide
open for people to come
100%.
through behind you. And not only that, you make sure that they have the knowledge base.
Yep.
And they know how to conduct themselves once you've provided that opportunity.
I think that's the biggest problem in our community. So often we get in these relationships in these rooms and we don't leave that door open enough. And then we find ourselves isolated and we the only one in the room and then they overwhelm us.
Yeah.
And then so the people who we forgot or couldn't get in the room with us, they're looking at us like, well, and then that's when they start calling us
Whatever.
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 But rightfully so, almost, because we got in that room and we didn't leave the door open. We didn't leave the window open.
You have absolutely, you have to, like you said, to whom much is given, much is required. You've got to make sure that you provide. You've got to make sure that you provide that same opportunity for other folks.
Yeah, you probably can pull it closer to
Yeah,
you.
let me just.
Because I know you want to get a little comfortable.
Yeah.
That says a lot. You done got comfortable. You sitting back and gave up on your little posture.
Chilling. down at the Real Underground Radio.
Man, you with Nate Logic.
Yes.
You with me, baby.
Feel right at home, Nate.
Big Nate, baby.
Yeah. Shout out to Joe Alexander. You know Joe Tang, Stuttgart?
I'm bad with names.
Joe is always doing stuff in the community. He is planning a Black History program for next year. I'm really excited to be participating in.
And that's amazing, because that kind of leads me to the next conversation. We suffering.
Woo.
We suffering left and right. Trouble. Let me ask you a question, Furonda. If you were looking at a plate at the trials and tribulations of black folks in Arkansas, Southeast Arkansas, just Arkansas period, what would you say is our biggest issue?
Oh, wow. What would I say that the biggest issue is? I think, wow. I have so many thoughts about that. The biggest issue, I think, for African Americans in Arkansas, we've got a lot, and I can just start to.
We got a
about,
buffet of problems.
We've got a lot of problems, and I think that when we think about and we look at our problems, we have to look at our problems in the context of which we find ourselves. You know, black people suffered over 200 years in slavery. Then after that, there was segregation, there was Jim Crow, there was all of those things. And then now, you know, we had a relatively short period where we had things like affirmative action to say, hey, y'all absolutely need boxes to stand on. You need soap boxes. Like there's no equity here, you know.
Right.
White supremacy has reigned, and just because we have changed some of the laws does not mean that we've changed the way that we apply them. So I think that economics is an issue with African Americans here in the state. The fact that we don't have that generational wealth that we are able to pass on from generation to generation. We did have that with our land, and then our land started being stolen from us by various different means. People started losing their land. It was going to heirs property, where now we don't even know who all own this property. So we cannot, and our names are not on the deed, so we cannot go and leverage the property so that we can actually make an adequate profit on our property, or enroll it in government programs so that we could do that. So we lost a lot of wealth by losing our land. We so right now black people do not have the wealth of white people. I mean, we didn't get to work for our wages for over 200 years.
Right.
That's and so when you look at the ills of Black America, Black Arkansas, you have to look at it in that context. Like, you know, for so long we have been discriminated against. We've been oppressed. You know, when I go in these courtrooms, I look around and I say, 9 times out of 10, I really want to say 10 times out of 10, I'm looking around like, now where in the world y'all find all these black people to bring to the court for whatever these little issues are? Like, y'all found all these black people, and you know what I'm saying, you couldn't find near enough as many white people. Like, what is that calls into question, like, what you doing? You know, are you going out patrolling the black neighborhoods? You know, and then bringing the black people into court, and then we go through this whole process where you got to pay to get out of jail. You know, if I accuse you of something today, Nate, they're going to come lock you up, and you're going to have to pay to get out of jail. Now, nobody's proven that you have committed a crime. But you are going to have to pay to get out of jail. You ain't going to get that money back. You know, you pay that 10% to the bail's bondsman, you're not going to get that money back. That's just money gone. And so it's just a cycle that we keep finding ourselves in. I think that the trash music on the radio, that's the problem for black people.
Right.
You know, in Arkansas and throughout the country, you know, you got all this trash music that we're like inundating our children with. And so, white kids don't have that. White kids they got good, wholesome messages coming through the music, and we have some of that. It's not promoted as much as you got this raunchy rap and, all of this other stuff that's on the radio that is promoting murder music, So that's another issue.
Op music.
What's op music?
That's what it is. Op music.
Op music.
The Real Underground radio station is a non-op music platform. Don't bring your op music over
We
here.
don't want to hear that trash.
We ain't got nothing for you.
We do not want to hear that trash. Exactly, Shalonda. And also, what's plaguing any ill that plagues everybody is gonna plague black people more.
Right.
And this inflation, Nate, is out of control. That's why you need $100,000 in order to make it. You need $100,000.
I know that's something you definitely want to touch on. We're gonna get there.
All right.
I'm not gonna let us leave without touching
Okay.
on $100,000.
The $100,000.
Because I know that's something that's sitting on your
Yeah,
spirit.
me and you have had these conversations
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
At first, it was about $40,000.
I
That was
I
the
was-
amount at first.
I was like, hold on.
Well,
And I
no.
thought about that. I'm like, so you mean to tell me now all of a sudden everybody's making 40 bands in Palm Bluff? Now everybody making 100,000. So okay. But I want to get back to the no bond thing. So what is this new no bond thing coming up?
Okay, so this is the thing. Okay. So one of the things that you could do, and you can do now, a bail's bondsman, it typically takes 10%. If you got a bond for $100,000, a bail's bondsman can come and get you out of jail for 10%. That means
talking to the mic.
you
Come a little closer.
can you not hear me?
Yeah. So basically, it's just
Okay.
a little closer.
Sure. So a bail's bondsman, right now as it stands right now, a bail's bondsman can come and get you out of jail for 10% of that, which is $10,000. So you're gonna have to come give the bail's bondsman $10,000. So what a lot of bail's bondsmen would do is they say, hey, you give me $4,000 down, you can make payments on this $10,000 and you can pay it out. Some bail's bondsmen would say, hey, I trust you. I know you're going to come to court. You give me $5,
Right.
and, I'm going to come get you out of jail. There's been a new law passed, thank your governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, in the current legislature, that you will need the entire 10%. Bail bondsmen are prohibited, come January 1st, they are prohibited from taking less than that 10% down. So if you got a $100,000 bond, you're going to have to come up with $10,000 in order, $10,000 cash that you have got to cash or collateral in the full amount that you are going to have to put up with this bail's bondsman. Now, if you give them $10,000, guess how much of that you're going to get back?
None.
Not a dime. So before you have even paid your lawyer, before you have even found a lawyer to pay, in order to just get out of jail so that you can fight the charges, you got to come up with 10 bands. And that's crazy. It's crazy.
It's those small microaggressions and small minute things that we don't see that create so much.
Yeah.
Somebody could say, hey, Nate, you beat me up.
Mm-hmm.
You beat me up, Nate. You did this to me. I go to jail, get a $5,000, $50,000 bond. I haven't, there's no way to even prove that I done it.
Mm-hmm. We ain't even trying to get to that point.
I gotta spend $5,000, $50,000. I gotta spend 10% of that, 5,000,
Mm-hmm.
just to come home,
Just to get out of jail.
and I ain't even no proof on it.
Mm-mm. No, that's how. They got a charge on you. They're gonna take you to jail. The only way that you get out is if you pay the 10%.
The full 10%. They can't finance. They
No.
couldn't say, well, give me $2,500 and you come home.
As of January 1st, 2024, that is no longer an option in Arkansas. It's a shame.
So in other places, they're doing things the opposite, where they're making it easier to get out. But in Arkansas, they're making it impossible to get out.
Right. And already, judges are not following the law. It's just fact. The law says that bond is only supposed to be set if these certain factors, if you don't have substantial ties to the community that are going to ensure that you come back to court. So that means like you got a job, you got family, you got a house, that typically indicates that you're not going to run off to Mexico, that you are going to stay, you're going to defend against these charges. You go to church at Longley Baptist Church, you know, you're going to come, you're going to do that. And so that's the way the law is written. Only if you don't meet those factors, only if you don't have those substantial ties to the community, is the judge supposed to set bail. But the way that it's done in practice, judges set bail every single time.
My Jesus. So it's overwhelming sometimes, and you have to, again, people who still choose Arkansas, because you can get in some trouble just like that over nothing.
Absolutely, and anybody can say anything. You know, it's nothing to pick up the phone, call the police, and say, "Hey, Nate tried to run me over. Come get him." And that's it. That's all it takes. Now, it's the ball is in your court, Nate. You got enough. You got 5 G's to get out of jail.
And people always talk about, well, I got bond money and all.
I don't. I ain't got no money for that.
I ain't got
no
10
money
bands
for
to
that.
give away. Please.
Right.
And they can't.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry.
And that's before you have even retained an attorney. Now you still got to pay the lawyer.
And the lawyer, y'all ain't free no more.
Well, I don't know when we were free,
but y'all ain't taking no shots.
Right. Yeah, no losses either. You know, it's a hard job to, you know, have everybody's problems and situations weighing on you. So that is an issue.
And so when you think about all of the things going on in our community, now that's one of them.
Yep. And that has been one of them for quite some time. You know, we black people are overly incarcerated in this country and absolutely in this state. We are overly incarcerated.
It's almost as if we ignore these things. Let me ask you a question, and maybe you can give me some insight. Why do we not vote? Let's finish. In Palm Bluff, we just had a vote.
Okay.
And only 3-4%? No, I'll take that back. It's 4,000 people, 40,000 people. So 6-7%? No, I'm sorry. About 8 to 9% people voted.
Right. I think voting is really, really important. I think that people have gotten soured on voting because when we mobilize and we do our job and we come out and vote, and then politicians still do whatever they want to do when they get in there, you know, that kind of sours people on voting. Sometimes people feel like they don't have a voice, that, you know, their one vote is not going to make a difference. But voting is really, really important. And in this country, that is our only opportunity to say something. Now, once we vote on somebody, we have a representative democracy. And so we vote to send people places, and then they absolutely get to do whatever they think is best. That's why we got to get good people in the office. I say Vivian Flowers, she has never been my legislator, but she's always been a voice for me up at the Capitol. If I'm trying to pass some legislation, if I'm trying to abolish the death penalty up here, or we're trying to cut down on fines, fees, and bail at the legislature with the Decarcerate campaign, shout out to Colleen, Zach, for all the Laura, all the great work.
We're going to have to talk about to get Colleen them up here too.
Absolutely.
We'll talk when it's over, but I definitely want to sit down and have a conversation with Colleen. Awesome brother. A lot of people I know say a lot of great things about him. So shout out Colleen. Definitely want to sit down and talk with you. Back to what we were saying though. So I think what we need, and this is my opinion, and tell me, we need to understand that voting is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
We have and I'll use the Joe Biden situation with the voting. I understand. You got to hold your nose. I understand. I'll use this for an example with eliminating student debt, right? Mm-hmm. We, in our mind, thinking that, hey, this is, once we vote for Joe Biden, then it's over with for us to have, student debt is over with.
And we thought that because that's what he said.
But under the intention, with the intentions or thoughts that, hey, my Democratic team would ride with me. Then you get somebody like Sinema and Manchin who say no, and then you still, even when he pushes it for an executive order, we get our Attorney General for Arkansas who says, no, we're going to sue to cancel, to stop this from going into place. In our mind thinking, hey, this is a sprint. Joe said this was over with. No, then you have red states like the Attorney General here in Arkansas. I think it was in Missouri all the deep red states attorney generals said, nope, we're going to sue and go back to Trump's Supreme Court and have them to kick that out.
Yeah.
And we don't have nobody to go back and say, hey, I did what I could do to cancel student debt. Because we have cinema, we have Manchin, we couldn't get it through the government, through the regular laws to get it passed. Then Biden went back and said, hey, let me pass an executive order. Yeah. Then you had the attorney general from deep red states to cancel it.
Right.
We still fought Joe.
Well, and I'm going to tell you what my problem with Joe Biden. I'm going to tell you right now. Joe Biden, you said what you said. Now, you said you was going to cancel, you was canceling student debt. And when he got in there and then he changed that to what it ended up being like, he was canceling like $5,000 or something like that. He changed what he said.
Right.
And when you can't do the bait and switch and act like you didn't say what you said before. Now, when you look at the lesser of two evils, I do understand that argument. Look at the lesser of two evils, but don't tell me no lies. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I agree with you. I definitely understand that. And I'll even say some things you're going to have to hold your nose.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is if you don't vote, if you disconnect from the system, you get Stephen Miller as your president. You get, when I say Stephen Miller, the white racist who created the Muslim ban. And said, Trump don't have enough sense to create the Muslim ban and other things like that. But guess what he do? He empowers people like Steve Bannon.
Right.
He empowers people like Stephen Miller, who are very intelligent, who know how to put these laws into place that will destroy us even further.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right now we should have a governor named Chris Jones.
Absolutely.
Palm Bluff's finest.
Absolutely.
He's a rocket scientist. And he lost to the lady that gets on they used to get on there and lie for Trump every day. And so, her concern right now is taking people off of Medicare. And,
as she did.
Stopping woke. She want to stop woke, take the credit away from the students that are taking African American studies. Messing with the trans kids. Those are very, I feel like, ma'am, you worried about the wrong things.
Microaggressions.
Yeah.
She is worried about those small things like ending the debt. Ending the bill. Those small microaggressions that put black people in bad situations.
Absolutely disproportionately affect African Americans.
And I really wanted Chris Jones to win. I was hopeful that he would, but I kind of knew the numbers wasn't there. And the numbers just based off our history. What I felt like Chris needed to do was engage the community more. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest problems, in my opinion, in the black community is classism. The haves versus the have-nots.
Oh, you think that's what it is?
The educated versus the uneducated.
It shouldn't be that way.
It is. The talented 10th is no longer in our community. Mm-hmm. That's why I celebrate people who choose Pine Bluff, because I know you, Ron Wiley, Hank Wilkins, myself, we can easily, I've said this, and I'm not saying that we're better than nobody, but if you just look at the measurements and the credentials, we would be considered the talented 10. We come home and we got to fight our own. Instead of our home saying, hey, what you got for us?
And honestly, I'm so thankful, and I know that my story is not everybody's story, but I've been fortunate enough to be able to focus on the people that support me, and fortunate enough to find so many comrades, people that care about the things that I care about, and we have been able to build community together, and so.
Correct.
But I do know, I've lived it. I live in Little Rock now. It's a lot of murder going on. I lived and I worked in the juvenile court in Jefferson County, in Judge Brown's court.
Yep.
And just to see our children coming in there, and most of them coming in from the school, coming straight from the school in handcuffs to the court.
Yeah.
And to the jail. And so we've got a lot. We've got a lot of issues, and so I don't want to say that hey, we are purposely fighting against each other. I think that there are a lot of issues that we are frustrated. People are frustrated, and a lot of times you end up taking up your frustration on the person that's closest to you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think we a lot of us don't know how to deal with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
We're hurt
Yeah.
in a lot of situations. You know, grief from losing our family members and things like that. I talk to a lot of these young men, man, and a lot of them are dealing with so much. In your opinion, if you could if you could just take a magic wand and give these young men anything, what would you give them?
Ooh, what would it be? I would say first of all, I would give. Listen, my favorite time. Anybody that knows me can tell you, my favorite time of the year is not Christmas. It's not Thanksgiving. It is tax time. Okay.
Ooh,
My
wee, baby.
favorite
Ooh,
time
wee.
is tax time.
Black folk Christmas.
Listen, and I've been
Black Christmas, baby.
listen. It's such a happy time in
Yes.
in the state. When people have enough to
Mhm.
pay their bills, to eat, to do a little something joyful on the side.
Right.
Ain't nobody trying to break in your house.
Right.
They got enough to do what they need to do. And so I really and truly love tax time. If I could wave my magic wand, I would give people resources. People wouldn't have to be struggling to rob Peter to pay Paul and worrying about how they're gonna eat. A gallon of milk is at an all-time high.
Oh my God.
Like milk is higher than gas, like premium, like higher than premium unleaded.
Ooh, wee.
And
Ooh, wee.
so that's what I would do. I would wave my magic wand, and I would give people resources so that people could, living wouldn't be such a strain on people. Yeah, I think that would alleviate a whole lot of the problems that we're having right now. People being so upset at each other because I can't pay my bills. What you looking at? Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
When the repo man, well, you probably don't know, the repo man looking for you, I ain't comfortable.
No,
Repo man just tapped on my door.
right.
They didn't try to turn my car off.
Absolutely. They got kill switches on people's cars now. You don't make a payment and
Hey
cut your car
man,
off.
it's rough out here,
Yeah.
and people's got to figure it out. And 100,000 just, hey, so is $100,000 really not enough now?
Ooh-wee.
You've been over 100,000 for a long time, Furonda.
Man, listen, my cost of I don't live an exorbitant life either.
All right, if those that know.
I don't live an exorbitant life, and so $100,000. And it's just me. That's the thing. I don't have any kids to
Right.
take care of. So and $100,000, it ain't enough.
It ain't enough.
It ain't enough. I feel like everybody needs at least $100,000, especially if you got kids. Especially if you got
Furonda,
kids.
that's 5 bands a week. A month. 6 bands a month after taxes.
Yeah.
That's $6,000 a month after taxes. Now that doesn't include whatever you choose for your 401k or your retirement. That doesn't include your insurance. But for after taxes,
So we say $6,000. The average cost of somewhere to live was about, if you got kids, $2,000 at least?
I don't know.
About $2,000.
No, I know people that's got $2, $3, $1,300 rents with 2 or 3 bedrooms.
Okay,
So
it's
if you
about
got 6
$1,500.
kids and you only making at some point some of this stuff yes, $100,000 ain't enough for somebody with 6 kids.
No, absolutely not.
But if it's just you and 2 or 3 people, $5,000-$6,000 a month. Come on, my mama made $10 an hour.
Now, Nate, our car notes is $1,000.
Where?
Everywhere.
If your car note $1,000, you come on now.
Come on, you got car note, you got and insurance.
Come on.
And insurance.
Okay, so let's say your car note
$1,000.
$1,000. Let's say that's
Insurance,
$1,000.
$300.
Huh?
Insurance about $300.
Insurance $300. Furonda, that's not fair.
That's $13.
What kind of car you driving with $1,000 car note?
I think all cars
Ain't no
cost
car,
$1,000.
no $1,000.
You know what I'm saying? Between $7,000, $8,000. That's all I'm saying.
If you got $1,000 car note, you need to reconsider some stuff.
Really?
Yes.
How much do you think cars cost, Nate?
I'm sure it ain't $1,000.
Do you have a car note?
Yeah, but it ain't nowhere near 1,000.
Is it a newer car?
Nah, it's a 2000. I got a 2011 pickup truck.
Okay.
That truck, I ain't even had it long. But even before I got that, $1,000 is too much of a vehicle. Too much goddamn note.
Well,
For those, not for you. I mean, come on, you ain't know.
I mean, I feel like this is just what I'm saying. I feel like most car notes are $1,000. Like, you know, $700, $800 is all.
Depending on your, let's say it all depends on what your credit look like.
Yeah.
But if you coming home, if you bringing home $6,000 a month and your credit's still at a 220, we got some priority problems here. Yeah. So your car note, if you, depending on a good 3-4-year-old vehicle shouldn't be busting your head for that much. You can go get your old Honda.
A Honda gonna be about $700.
No.
Yes.
No.
About $700.
Nah.
Cars are cars. Stuff is expensive these days.
So you basically saying,
Yeah.
I think if you sit down with the right financial planner, the right people who can put you on game and help you build a budget, $100,000 is more than enough.
Well, we will have to agree to disagree. I mean, food costs $1,000. How much? I mean,
now I eat.
Yeah,
and I ain't spending. And I will say food is high.
It's high.
But you got to know how to cook.
So that's 1, 2. We already got 2. We got food and your car note. That's $2,000. With your house, that's $4,000. With your house, that's $4,000.
Man, you better go get you an air fryer.
You ain't pay no bills.
An air fryer is $69.99, and you go get you a Pick 5.
You're gonna be picking a lot of fives. Do they still
Now,
have Pick 5?
Yeah. Now I will say the price on the Pick 5 that went up though.
What is it? 25?
Nah, it's $22.94 in the hood.
$22.94. Okay.
So I mean, you find you some food stamps too.
No. You know, people holding on to their food stamps is what I hear.
Now they didn't want up on them.
They
used to let you get them 50 cents on the dollar. Now they want to sell the food stamps 75 cents on the dollar.
Selling food stamps is illegal. Remember that.
I shouldn't say that.
While y'all sending text messages and people send text messages about all kinds of manner of foolishness and illegality. So I just want to encourage everybody. Listen, while y'all sending text messages, you just understand that somebody could likely read that text message, whatever you sending it about. And selling food stamps is illegal. That's just my PSA for today. Don't shoot.
That's your free lawyer advice.
Don't shoot the messaging.
Furonda, man. So let me ask you a question. You said you were kind of not distraught, but frazzled about some of the stuff going on in Palm Bluff. What are some other things that you see when you think about good old Palm Bluff?
You know, I watched the Quorum Court. It's kind of like a reality show.
Mm-hmm.
I watched their meetings, and at this point, from an outsider looking in, it looks like the Quorum Court has decided that they're not going to work with the county judge, and so they have their own meetings. And then when they come and have the meeting with the judge, then it's really just like it's their opportunity to, like, you know, posture and say, you know, talk crazy to the county judge and to the people that are coming to testify, you know. And then they refuse to pass the legislation that they already passed to pass it again. As I understand, they have a reason why they're doing that. I just think it's so unfortunate that the county has decided that it's not going to effectively do business. And I know people have been coming up saying, hey, the veterans need this. We need y'all to, you know, whatever y'all doing or whatever the problem is, we need y'all to act because the veterans need this. These people want their, the county workers want their Christmas bonuses. They have been, you know, the people that have, the actual contractors and the people that cut the grass for the city or do the beautification or whatever kind of vendors that are working for not the city but the county. You know, they have came multiple times and begged to get paid their money. I just think that is so unfortunate.
you catching me up on this stuff. I don't even entertain it anymore. So let me ask you a question, Front, and I'm gonna give you a moment because
Sure.
I'm gonna let you speak on whatever you wanted to speak
Sure.
on and have. Was there anything? Because we've been going an hour and 6 minutes, Front.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna mute my mic and say this is the Furonda show.
Well, something that's really passionate, and I said speak on it. $100,000 is not enough. One of the things that I'm really passionate about now, and I did want to talk about, is I moved into a bankruptcy practice. Where I'm assisting people in alleviating a lot of their debt with a bankruptcy, preferably a Chapter 7 that would eliminate their debt, their unsecured debt, or a Chapter 13 that would allow them to have a payment plan so that they could pay back for whatever they need to pay for. That works for a lot of people that are facing foreclosure. And so I'm really, really excited about that work. It's work that I'm able to help people a whole lot, to get some relief. Where people is broke these days, and it's of no fault of their own. People are working as hard as ever. I
Right.
know people, they got two jobs, they got a side hustle, and they are still unable to make ends meet. The price of gas is high. It's giraffes. And they, food, and then the cost of living as far as housing has gone up so high. So people are not able to make it, and it's not because they haven't done everything that they were supposed to do. People have got multiple degrees,
Right.
and are just not able to make ends meet. And so I'm really excited to be able to use bankruptcy to give people some relief. And so that's a lot of what my office is doing now. And we're available at 501 debt. And people can call us to so that we can assist them and see how bankruptcy will help to alleviate some of those.
So let me ask you a question about bankruptcy.
Sure.
It seems as if bankruptcy is has such a black eye or whatnot in the black community. Why is that? Like we look at bankruptcy like the end of the world in our community. Why is that?
Black people are so respectable. I hats off. Black people are so respectable, and a lot of people think that it is shameful when you finally say, "Hey, I can't pay all this." Some people think that there is some shame, and some people think that there is some shame in that, like saying, "Hey, I cannot pay all of these bills." And so bankruptcy is it's a code and it's a law, and it is a relief that has been provided for every citizen to take advantage of so that you can get a fresh start. If you have gotten too many bills, or if things have gotten out of hand with your finances, that you can use the bankruptcy code so that you can get your relief. I've had clients that have thousands and tens of thousands of dollars in credit cards. We can file a Chapter 7 and have all of that discharged. So where people are spending their money trying to catch up on these bills it's virtually impossible. They can just eliminate those in bankruptcy and use that money to move ahead. Instead of just trying to pay for their past mistakes. And so bankruptcy is nothing wrong with bankruptcy. What's wrong is to try to struggle through and not have enough to make it when you can take advantage of the bankruptcy code and eliminate a whole lot of that debt and not worry about it.
I think like you said, black people are so respectable,
So respectable.
and our counterparts are less melanated group. Are they use bankruptcy like it's going out of style?
It's a part of the law. It's available for every citizen, and there is no shame for somebody that's gonna say, "Hey, this law is here to give me some relief. I'm gonna take advantage of that." And so that's what I try to do, is to get more awareness in the Black community about what bankruptcy is and about what it can do for you. Yeah.
I think that's important because our former president has filed bankruptcy a lot and
Multiple times.
bankrupted a lot of different businesses
Right.
as
Oh,
well.
yes. Oh, yes.
And so I don't think people should have any issue with filing bankruptcy. I know some white people who file bankruptcy every 10 years.
And they get ahead that way. They do.
They'll go buy a business. They'll buy, keep the assets, file bankruptcy. Buy, keep the assets, file bankruptcy. Sell the asset.
There are lots
File
of people.
bankruptcy
There are
again.
lots of people that do that. They take advantage of the bankruptcy law now. there are some caveats to that, and you can't, there are some things in place so that you can't abuse it. But for the most part, bankruptcy can get you a whole fresh new start. I mean, any medical bills that you got, you can discharge those in bankruptcy. Any credit card bills you've got, you can discharge those in bankruptcy. Personal loans that you've got, I know a lot of people are wearing that Klarna out, and buying all their Christmas gifts and all of that stuff. That's a lot. That's stuff that can be discharged in bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
And so people that have taken out these, all of these exorbitant amounts of loans, that can be discharged in bankruptcy. So. It's absolutely something to call about, and we can discuss that with anybody that's interested. 501 debt, and to see if bankruptcy would be right for you.
Now you can't get rid of student loans on bankruptcy.
So there are some very very limited ways, but for the most part, student loans are going to stick with you.
Right.
Yeah.
Nor you can't get rid of child support.
No, you will have to pay your child support.
There ain't no going. Ain't no little Junior gonna be on your back.
Yeah, you have to pay your child
Little
support.
Junior gonna be on your back. So let me ask you one more question now, because I know you about ready to get out of here. Furonda, you have a very outgoing personality.
You think so?
I do.
Really?
I know you got. I know you ain't afraid to go outside.
I will go outside.
You gonna go outside. But what you ain't gonna do is let nobody play with you.
No.
I know that about you.
No.
You deal with microaggressions. I learned a lot about microaggressions from watching you and how you dealt with them on the show and just different areas that I've seen. I be peeping game.
Really?
You gotta teach people how to play with you, man.
Yeah. People will do what you allow them to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that getting somebody to, when people got you messed up, it is absolutely appropriate to get them together wherever they find that they have gotten you messed up at, is to get them together. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you've got to be cursing somebody out, or that you've got to be belligerent or ignorant. You can convey your boundary to somebody in a very polite way. And you definitely want to start that, and then we can, if it's up.
If it's up, then it's up.
Then it's up. But I think that you and as a black woman, you absolutely have to set your boundaries, and you absolutely have to get people whenever they get outside of themselves, you have to gather them and say, hey, respectfully, I'm gonna need you to bring it down, because that ain't what we doing.
Hey man, I am so appreciative to this conversation, man. Do you feel like we missed anything?
I want to say like a shout out, and you and I have had a mutual friend, Maurice Taggart, and Maurice passed away back in September, and so I miss him tremendously. I think that we would be remiss not to say a shout out to the memory of Maurice Taggart. He was like a brother to me. Yeah, and every time I think about going to Pine Bluff now, I can't call Maurice. I can't. Me and Maurice can't meet at the casino, or we can't go out to dinner and talk about life, family, cases, our dreams and aspirations. And so I definitely want to.
I don't want to say mutual friend, though. I want to say a mutual brother.
A mutual brother, yeah.
That was our brother,
Yeah.
man. I mean, Maurice, for me, Reese Doggy Dog.
Reese Doggy Dog.
And if you to know him is to love him. I want to give a big shout out to his family, Justin, his daughter, his son,
His
Sean,
sister,
Tiffany. I got a special shout out for Tiffany. Tiffany, in memory of Maurice, she has support. Maurice always supported everything that I've done in the community. Whether in person or whether behind the scenes, Maurice was an advocate for Pine Bluff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Many will deny and disagree, but Maurice was an advocate for the city.
Oh, yeah.
He stood tall for Pine Bluff.
He did.
And he wasn't going to let nobody say nothing bad about Pine Bluff. And feel whatever you feel, think whatever you think. Maurice Taggart loved Pine Bluff.
Yeah.
He loved his family.
Yeah.
Beyond understanding. When it come to Sean, when it come to his boy, His daughter, his kids, it wasn't nothing.
Yeah.
And Maurice also, all this, Maurice was my friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
My friend.
Yeah.
Not just the nigga I knew.
Yeah.
And if you know me and you know Palm Bluff, you know the history, not even the history, if you just know me from Palm Bluff, then you know Maurice and you know how all of us, Maurice, Rah Rah, Cameo, all you know how we hung and draws, cakes. You know how we, you know Doolittle, Junebug. You know these names if you know my name. Big Buddy, Big Foot, Little Foot. All us still to this day talk, jock. All us still to this day tight. It wasn't a friend. It was my brother,
Yeah.
and I miss my brother. Um, and I when I see people use his name to
It's been hard. It's been a hard time.
when I see people who use his name, like bruh, I don't want to play with you no more. Like I don't want to. I don't want to play with you no more. I don't want to. So and I know I'm in your presence, and I know I'm an attorney, and I know they changing these laws that'll keep people in bad situations. So I'm just, bruh,
Yeah, I
it's
think
tough.
it is. It's tough. It was a very unexpected loss. I woke up like 5 in the morning. My mom and sister calling me like, "Hey, you okay?" And I'm like, "What? I've been asleep. Delirious. What are you talking about? What?" And then they told me some unbelievable news.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable news
Heartbreaking.
that my brother was gone, and that's been a very hard pill to swallow. Just recently, I was able to attend a balloon release for Maurice. His sister Tiffany Taggart invited me, his wife Chandra Taggart, his family, his son, his daughter Madison. They embraced me along with other people it was a very intimate setting. Judge Ernest Brown, people that
They
really loved
Maurice. Yeah.
Maurice, were there to kind of, because to come together and to lean on each other and to lean on his memory. It was right after his birthday,
Yep.
and it's been a hard time for everybody. I can only imagine what his family's going through.
Yeah.
And Maurice was a rock for a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
He was a rock, and the separate. He was a rock for a lot of people. I'll ride with that. And you know, glory be to God for my brother, for our brother Maurice. And all we can do is continue to pray for everybody involved.
Yep.
Cause that thing don't get easy,
No,
man.
no, a tragedy and a lot of such a bright, like dynamic person. Maurice got it out the mud, like for real.
The mud ain't even what it was.
What was it?
The mud ain't even what it
What
was. I'll tell you this. Maurice embodies, in my opinion, what you can do with hard work and faith.
Yep.
That he is the embodiment of hard work and faith.
Yeah.
And I told him this. I got a picture of Maurice speaking to some students at the alternative school in Palm Bluff. And I told him, because it was a thing that I had him to do for me. And I told him, I said, Maurice, man, you don't know how big that is.
Yeah.
That was you.
Yeah.
You talking to who you were. I can tell you stories of Maurice terrorizing the teachers at school when we were in elementary and younger. And now when he got into high school and up, he did a full 180. But I love Maurice. I always love you, brother. I ain't just saying this. I'm telling you this. So long live Reese Dog at Dog, baby. Ooh, wee, baby.
Reese, doggy, dog. And I think the full circle moment. I mean, he came full circle so many times, but to see him getting sworn in after all of the things that he went through to be an attorney, to see him get sworn in the juvenile court in which he was once a defendant.
Yeah.
He was once a juvenile defendant
Yep.
in that same court, and to watch Judge Ernest Brown, his mentor, to swear him in to the legal practice, that was just an
Astounding.
amazing moment. It
Yep.
really was.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, this your boy Big Nate with the Real Underground Radio Station. We need y'all to still, we finna get out of here, but share this, man. This was an amazing conversation. Furonda, you got anything you want to tell these folks before we go?
Stay up, people. Stay up, people. I think one thing, and I love the Lord. He heard my cry and He pitied every groan. Okay. So I just want to say, holidays are a difficult time for a lot of people, and I know a lot of people have been literally fighting for their lives the entire year. Christmas and the holidays for some is just an amazing time where we get together with family. And we have the time of our lives. We go to the Green Gala. We go to the what is the no, okay.
Shut up, my guy.
Yes, we go.
The
we
jingle
out,
mingle.
right? We get out and we do all
Shout
of
out
our
Dre, man.
we do all of our things, all of our festivities. But this time of year, a lot of people are facing losses. It's an empty seat at the dinner table. It's gonna be a lot of people are going through these holidays alone. A lot of people don't know how they're gonna buy Christmas dinner. Yeah. Because things have gotten literally so rough and people are fighting so much. And I just want to encourage people to get closer to God during the season. Because God is our refuge and our strength. To get closer to Him and to keep fighting, to don't give up, and to see what relief is available for you, because it is very, very difficult for a lot of people, and I know a lot of us are going to be missing family members in our holiday celebrations, and so just saying, people, just keep your heads up, stay prayed up. And keep fighting, keep fighting, keep going.
Yeah, man.
We wish you all the